Bonjour. In this video we shall learn something about French food. As you can see, in France food is considered sacred, and when preparing a dish, the freshest and best quality ingredients that one can afford are usually chosen. Even the table is laid with care, even just for a simple lunch. During the meal, like in English-speaking countries and other places, people put away their phones and no one watches the clock. Eating is considered to be a celebration of both the food before you and the company around you. It's a part of the culture of the country. Markets. Every journey obviously begins at a market. Most cities and large towns feature a market at least twice a week. Smaller towns and villages have a market once a week, and some of these markets date back for centuries. For example, the one on the Ile de Ré in western France boasts that the market has been in existence since the 14th century. In Paris, the Marché des Enfants Rouges dates from 1628. Typical French meals. Mostly there is no such thing as a typical French meal, although the label, the French cuisine, it may be used to describe French food, but dishes are mostly region-based and vary depending on where one is located. The only exception may be breakfast. For breakfast, French often eat tartine, a slice of bread, usually a baguette, smothered with a fruity jam. This is sometimes accompanied by yogurt and a croissant, and almost always accompanied by coffee, or chocolate, or orange juice. On weekends, sometimes one can pick up freshly made viennoiserie from the bakery, croissant, pain au chocolat, pain au raisin, and some other things. Lunch meals vary by region again, but the one thing that typifies French lunch is its length. A few decades ago, lunches were akin to mini dinners, lasting for hours and served with wine. These days, the lunch times are shorter, but are still leisurely sit-down affairs that last about an hour. For the majority of French people, lunch is a highly valued moment to take a break from work and socialize with peers and friends over good food. For dinner, again it depends on the region, however the basic structure tends to remain the same. For example, a 4-course meal will be served as follows. First, entrée, then le plat, then fromage, and finally the dessert. Sometimes there may be a salad course which would follow the main course. If both fish and meat are being served, fish would come before the meat. Apéritif and digestif usually bookend French dinners. Apéritif occurs at the very start of the meal. Alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks are served along with small appetizers such as nuts and olives to stimulate the appetite. And in contrast, the digestif happens at the end of the meal. Guests are served drinks with a high alcohol percentage such as whiskey, bourbon, or a liqueur to aid digestion. Now let's look at some vocabulary related to food in French. La boulangerie. A bakery where you can buy croissant, fresh bread and sandwiches, and some basic pastries. La pâtisserie. Pastry shop. This normally doesn't sell bread, but will sell the pastries or sweet breads that some boulangeries do. La boucherie, butcher shop. You can also find sandwiches or charcuterie at plates at some boucheries. La fromagerie, the chocolatier. The cave à vin, wine shop. Some shops will serve wine by the glass as well. The supermarché, the supermarket. You can see some popular supermarkets: Monoprix, Carrefour, Auchan. Le petit déjeuner, le déjeuner, le dîner, entrée, plat. The difference between cafe and restaurant. In France, the main difference between cafe and restaurant is the level of formality. The cafe is usually casual and it usually serves very simple dishes. Restaurants are normally more formal, serving full dinner menus. The difference between restaurant and bistro is less drastic. The bistro is another casual restaurant, but you can expect slightly better food options here than at a cafe, normally. Bistro and brasserie. A brasserie is a restaurant that serves simple, casual food just like a bistro. The naming distinction comes from the days when brasseries served alcohol and bistros did not. But these days, most eateries in France serve alcohol. So food-wise, you can expect fairly similar menus, and there's not much of a difference between a bistro and brasserie these days. Now let's look at some top French foods. Croquet Madame. It's a ham and cheese sandwich topped with extra cheese and an egg, and it adds sometimes the addition of French cheese adds a great flavor to this coffee sandwich. Coq au vin. Chicken cooked in a wine sauce. Again, it's a classic French dish. Galette and crepe. Galettes are savory crepes made with buckwheat batter, and crepes are the dessert made with a sweet batter. Soup à l'oignon. This is a traditional French soup made of onions and beef stock, usually served with crouton and melted cheese on top. It dates back to Roman times and was originally and traditionally a peasant dish, although the current version dates from the 18th century. Cassoulet, a comfort dish of white beans stewed slowly with meat. Again a peasant dish originating in southern France, and is popular in Toulouse, Carcassonne and Castelnaudary. Beef bourguignon is essentially a stew made from beef braised in red wine, beef broth, and seasoned vegetables, including pearl onions and mushrooms. Again a peasant dish originally, the recipe is now a staple in French restaurants around the world. Souffle of Chocolate. It dates back to the early 18th century and nowadays is a staple on dessert menus around the world. It doesn't always have to be sweet. Sometimes cheese souffles are just as delicious and are a little saltier. Flamie, meaning cake in Flemish. This dish originates from northern France near the border with Belgium. It is a puff pastry crust filled with cheese and vegetables and resembles a quiche. Confit de canard. A tasty French dish of duck, although some chefs use goose or pork. It is one of the finest French dishes. Meat is usually prepared, especially prepared using ancient preservation and slow cooking process called confit. Salade niçoise, a typical French salad from the Provence region. Often eaten as a side dish, it can also be a light meal on its own. Ratatouille, from Provence. Here the vegetables are shallow fried and then layered in a casserole dish before being baked in an oven. It's again a traditional peasant dish, can be a side dish, appetizer, or a main course. It can be taken with red wine and fresh crusty bread. A similar Basque dish is piperade, which typically adds ham and sometimes eggs to the stewed vegetable mix. Creme Brulee is a custard-based dessert topped with a layer of crunchy caramel. It's popular all over the world, and it originated in France. Tarte tatin, an upside-down fruit pastry traditionally made with caramelized apples and puff pastry. It was made famous by the Hotel Tatin, and similar slices are served throughout the country. Meal-free, meaning thousand leaf in French, is a layered puff pastry filled with pastry cream. Typically, it consists of dozens of thin layers of pastry, and hence the name. Madeleine. These are small sponge cakes flavored with lemon zest. Shell-shaped treats are either eaten plain or covered in jam or coconut flakes. They are a staple in literature, in French literature. Paris, originally created to commemorate the Paris cycling race in 1910, the praline flavored cream sitting between two pieces of choux pastry has stuck around ever since. Claphootie is a flan-like dessert cake that's usually made with black cherries. It's from the Limousin region. Limousin, from where the word and the car limousine comes. That brings us to the end of this video. Merci au revoir.